Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
In Matthew 24:1-2, Jesus left the temple and was going away when his disciples came to point out to him the buildings of the temple. But he answered them, "You see all these, do you not? Truly I say to you, there will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." The disciples were mostly country boys coming to the big city. They were in awe of the splendor of the temple. But really, who wouldn't be? This specific temple was begun in 20 BC by Herod the Great. I'm sure you remember him, the one who had all the babies of Bethlehem killed to try to get rid of the Messiah who he saw as a threat to his kingship. At the time that Jesus was there, in Matthew 24, the temple would have been one of the most impressive buildings in the world. Huge stones of marble, most of it covered in gold that gleamed in the sun. And remember that to travel to Jerusalem from anywhere was to go up, because the city was on a hill, but the temple itself was on the top of it all and could be seen for miles around. It was on this spot, called Mount Moriah, that Abraham was about to sacrifice Isaac back in Genesis 22. So not only was it a magnificent structure, but it had plenty of historical significance, not just back to Solomon's time when the first temple was built, but back to the patriarchs. By any standard, the temple was awe-inspiring. Any standard, that is, but God's. The disciples were impressed, but Jesus wasn't. Just think of it from his viewpoint. He came from heaven. And in comparison, these man-made buildings were like Legos. The shining gold of the place was like a speck of glitter on the floor. Besides, Jesus knew the future of this place. Yes, it was built to be his Father's house, and at one time it was filled with splendor, the Shekinah glory of God. And when Jesus left that day, it would still be beautiful, but it would be desolate without his presence. And as he prophesied here, it wouldn't be too long before it would be destroyed. Not one stone left on another. Hearing this, the disciples were amazed. How could this happen to their gorgeous temple? It was beyond their comprehension. Yet some of them would be alive when it happened. In 70 AD, Titus, a Roman general, invaded and set all of Jerusalem on fire. It's said that the heat was so intense that it melted all the gold in the temple. The invading Romans then deconstructed the whole building, even the floor, to retrieve every ounce of gold they could. You see why Jesus said not one stone will be left upon another? You know, some people, places, and even nature can leave us in awe, but God is bigger and more magnificent than any of that. People fall off their pedestals that we put them on. Buildings and other things decay and get old, and the splendor of nature can easily be destroyed. But God is always the same, always majestic, always beyond our imagination or comprehension. So instead of standing in awe of anything this world has to offer, we can remember that God is more amazing, more awesome, and more worthy of our praise, worship, and adoration than anything else. We should stand in awe of Him.
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to share a treasure God has given you by doing an episode, please contact us. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.